Attorney's Office now says Victoria's mother, Michelle Martens, and her boyfriend, Fabian Gonzales, were not there when the 10-year-old was raped and murdered. 2 years ago, Martens faced 19 charges in her daughter's killing. But in a surprise hearing today, she pled guilty to just one. News 13's Lizzie Mitri was at that hearing. She's live at District Court. Lizzie.
Jessica, in court today, Martens pled guilty to child abuse recklessly caused, resulting in death. That means she admitted she should have known her daughter was in danger when she left her with her boyfriend's cousin, Jessica Kelly.
So if I accept this plea, you're going to be serving a term of between 12 and 15 years in the New Mexico Department of Corrections.
The judge did accept that plea today as the parents of Michelle Martens watched in court. Prosecutors laid out their evidence today, saying it shows Martens knew her boyfriend Fabian Gonzales' cousin, Jessica Kelly, had just gotten out of prison and had a violent past. But Martens still let Kelly stay at her apartment and even asked Kelly to pick up 10-year-old Victoria from the bus stop after school on August 23, 2016. Prosecutors say Martens got home hours later and saw Kelly was high on meth, but again left her daughter with Kelly so Martens and Gonzales could go get marijuana. While Martens and Gonzales were gone that time, prosecutors say Kelly and at least one other unknown person raped and strangled Victoria. But that even when Martens got home and saw Kelly carrying Victoria unresponsive, wrapped in a blanket, the mom never checked on her daughter. The idea 2 years ago that Martens watched Victoria's murder came from her interview with police, which both sides now say just wasn't true.
It became patently obvious to us that this was a statement made. It had many, many false admissions to it, simply because she was trying to please the people that were questioning her. She's that way all her life. It's just her nature.
Martens will be sentenced after the upcoming trials for Gonzales and Kelly. She's expected to testify in those. Martens' own trial was supposed to take place in less than 2 weeks. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Lizzie. District Attorney Raul Torres held a news conference right after that plea deal today. He outlined why they did it, the evidence problems in the case, and revealed a shocking new detail. News 13's Marissa Lucero continues our team coverage. She's live downtown at District Court. Marissa.
Jess, the DA dropped a bombshell today saying there is a fourth suspect in this case, someone who was there when Victoria was raped and murdered.
In light of the most significant development in the course of the case to date, I have today authorized the filing of a criminal information against the unidentified male whose partial DNA profile was recovered from Victoria Martens' body and who remains at large.
The DA had a long prepared statement ready defending the plea deal, explaining why they did it and introducing that new shocking detail. As we mentioned, Torres says he had a team review the case over the past year or so with prosecutors, APD detectives, and new experts. They found there's no evidence Martens and Gonzales were home when Victoria was raped and murdered in the early evening of August 23rd, 2016, completely countering to what investigators initially thought. The DA says a lot of what we thought about this case just simply wasn't true. He went over a detailed timeline and witness statements for the hour Victoria was killed, cell phone pings that place Martens and Gonzales on the other side of town.
I recognize that these revelations are not consistent with the public's perception about what happened to Victoria, but I want to share this information with you in order to help the community understand.
DA Torres says they still believe Martens and Gonzales are guilty of child abuse for leaving Victoria in the care of Jessica Kelly, a convicted rapist and drug dealer, but said they are confident the two did not participate in her rape and murder. As far as the unidentified suspect goes, Torres says his office learned about the new DNA evidence last summer. He did not say why it took his office almost a year to release those new details. Back to you, Jess.
All right. Thank you, Marissa. At the time of the murder, people were on edge, worried if there was a child killer on the loose. APD reassured the public they were safe.
To the people who live in that neighborhood, let me assure you that your neighborhood is safe. There are no other suspects in this case.
Michelle Martens' boyfriend, Fabian Gonzales, is still accused of exposing Victoria to his cousin, Jessica Kelly, a convicted rapist and drug dealer, leading to her death. And he's still accused of dismembering the little girl's body to help cover up the crime. Let's get to News 13's Chris McKee.
Jessica Gonzales met Michelle Martens on a website, plentyoffish.com, a couple months before Victoria's murder. Shortly after they met, they were already living together. In the week before the murder, Gonzales invited his cousin, Jessica Kelly, to come live with them, even though she had just gotten out of prison.
That's the most obvious component of child abuse, is permitting this child to be left in a situation where she was obviously in danger.
Now, that idea that Victoria was knowingly left at her home with Jessica Kelly is essentially the basis now for the charges against Fabian Gonzales. In new court filings today, prosecutors dropped the rape and murder charges against Gonzales, so he's now facing child abuse and multiple counts of evidence tampering. Investigators believe Gonzales returned to the apartment to find Victoria dead, then tried to cover up the crime by dismembering Victoria. Gonzales' attorney, Tom Clark, talked to us over the phone today and commended the DA for dropping some of the charges in the case. But he says there's a fight now as to what Fabian's responsible for, if anything.
Fabian's not the dad. He's not her mom. I mean, he's not the dad. He's not a guardian. He's not an uncle. He has, and so there's going to be a huge fight. And this is what our trial's about now.
And we also asked Clark if they are discussing a plea deal in the case for Mr. Fabian Gonzales, but he didn't give us an answer. Gonzales is now set to go to trial in October. Jessica?
Thank you, Chris. At no point today did the DA's office go into any detail on how they think Jessica Kelly and this unidentified man sexually assaulted and murdered Victoria. Kelly's trial is set for January.